Good afternoon or good evening, everybody, depending on where in the world you are. This is Hypnotist, Judge, Mentalist. I'm excited to be here in what is the first of a series and what's probably going to be a pretty long series of chats with performers at the upcoming Barcelona Fringe Festival in Barcelona, Spain. That is going to run from the 31st of October this year all the way to the 9th of November. There are over 150 shows scheduled at this Fringe Festival. There are my hypnosis shows, there are comedians, there are musicians, there are spoken word, there are some visual art displays, and there are magicians. And I am excited because the first person that we are bringing on here to talk about their upcoming shows for the Barcelona Fringe Festival is one such magician. He is going to be in Spain all the way from Cork, Ireland. I'm going to waste no more time here than to introduce Zac Coveney.
Hey, thanks for having me.
Thank you. Thank you. Welcome. I'm so happy that we have the ability in the modern era to be able to do stuff like this because you are hours ahead of me in time and thousands of miles or kilometers or wherever it is, however your country measures it. From me, here we are talking to the world about a fun adventure that we get to go on in just under 2 months.
Absolutely, man. No, I appreciate it. I'm in the future, as you said.
Exactly. So let's I'm going to assume for this purpose, since they are pooling artists and performers and entertainers from all over the world, that perhaps nobody watching this knows who you are. So let's start with a little bit of background on you, and then we're going to start talking about your fringe shows.
Yeah, absolutely. So my name is Zac Coveney. I'm based in Cork, Ireland, and I'm a magician. I've been performing for about 12 years now. So I'm mainly a stage and theatre magician. That's what I've gone into this year, trying to expand my market into fringe festivals now over the next couple of years and start performing more in Europe, more in the UK, more across Ireland. So I guess I began when I was a kid, when I was a teenager. I always had an interest in science and, I was a bit of a know-it-all. I just wanted to know how everything worked. And I saw David Blaine on TV one night. My dad was like, "Hey, sit down and watch this." And it was just mind-boggling. It was something that I couldn't explain. I was like, how can a man sit and put a needle through his arm and not bleed or feel pain? Or how can he get a card on the ceiling? Or it was just all these things that completely baffled me. So I sat down one day and I said, "Okay, I got to learn." I just picked up a deck of cards and a book and started teaching myself card tricks. And 12 years later, here we are.
Wonderful. I love, because this is somewhat rare, somebody in the magical arts origin story that is different and not the my parents bought me a magic kit when I was a child. So thank you for that. Not that there's anything wrong with that being your origin story, but I want to say that probably 70 or 80% of the performing magicians out there, that's the genesis of them getting into it, is that I got this box with all these different hunks of plastic that looked weird and weren't quite shaped right, and I didn't know why, and then I started reading the book and it's like, oh, okay. So awesome. It's so great to have, something to pull you in, and a desire and a draw, and something to kind of give you a target. So you mentioned obviously this growth and the deviation into expanding to other markets and doing more stage stuff and these fringe festivals, which I personally think are a ton of fun. Um, Financially, maybe not the best sometimes, but
For
you get to
sure.
go new places, you get to meet all new people, and it's a ton of a fun of an adventure. But where were you before that? Were you doing a lot of the card work that got you started, or what was it?
Yeah, so I guess I would have started off in kind of card stuff, close-up magic, would have been doing private events, kind of weddings, corporate events, that sort of stuff. Nothing wrong with it. I like it, I enjoy it, but I always preferred the stage because it was more, I always had more control over how I could express myself. I always thought you had a lot more room to be creative, at least for myself, when you're on stage, you could kind of create whatever storyline or whatever narrative you wanted to. Whereas if you're doing like a wedding and a corporate event, it's very much here's a card trick, here's a coin trick, I'm being paid by the hour, see you later.
Yep.
So
Next group, next group, next group.
yeah, exactly. And like I don't mind it, but personally I just wanted something a bit more. So that's why I started getting into the stage stuff. I started doing kind of stage competitions when I was a teenager. And then over the past couple of years, kind of post COVID, let's say from about 2022, I started writing these stage shows, started testing out in local venues. And this year definitely expanded. Like in January, I had no plans, and then in February, I said, you know what, I'll do a small preview show in a local venue, see what goes on. 30 seats can't be too hard, right? Sold out the first show. They said, hey, add a second show. So I did two previews the same day. A week later, I was in London in the Etc. Theatre in Camden. So big shout out to those guys for giving me a chance. Had never headlined a theatre in London, and I was like, "Oh my god, this is terrifying!" And then it just kind of expanded. I've been in Spain, I've been in France, I've been all over the UK, all over Ireland this year. So it's been nuts, but super fun, as you said. Financially, not so much, but spiritually and creatively, I'm super happy.
With my shows, it's just such a gift to be able to give to the folks that are on stage, and really to the entire room, because you have this unique ability in a very undescribable way, in most ways, to just connect with an entire room of people in a way that's so much more than just telling a story or sharing something about you, because there's just that interactivity to it and everything that just is it's next level. I mean, it's why I am where I am, doing what I'm doing, and just pursuing that dream and having a ton of fun with it. So is this your first Fringe? Have you done other Fringes before?
First Fringe Festival, so super happy, super excited. It's something I wanted to do for years, and yeah, it's the first one that let me in, so I'm grateful.
Lovely, wonderful. Well, what can we expect? Is this a brand new show for the Fringe? Are you doing experimental stuff? Is this kind of an extension of the show that you've been touring throughout Europe? What do we got?
So this will be the same show that I've been touring this year. So the show is called The Wonderist. It's a little bit of a personal story about me and how I got into magic, but it also looks at, as you said, not only just myself but the audience. I feel like we live in a very kind of fast-paced, modern, digital world, and we don't often stop to think about magic or to actually feel wonder. Like when was the last time that you just kind of stopped for a second and actually felt amazed? Because we're not really impressed by much anymore. So a couple of years back, I kind of lost that sense of magic myself. As a magician, I was looking for how can I go bigger, how can I go better, and looking for the next best thing. And eventually, I just burnt out. I lost my sense of magic, and I was like, man, it was crazy. I almost quit. So it's basically my story about rediscovering my sense of magic, but also pulling the entire audience into it and inspiring them to kind of take a second every day in their daily lives, and just actually remember how amazing things can be.
I love it. I love it, because there are definitely some performers out there that will just throw you a series of trick, 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 and it's not necessarily a cohesive story. Obviously, not everybody, but there are definitely some of those. And to be able to have that and really share something like that with people is going to be amazing. I was at a conference, I think it was earlier this year, maybe it was last year, and the keynote speaker was talking very similarly about this fast-paced, this digital world, things flying at us from all different directions, and schedules being stacked so much fuller than they ever were before. And it's those moments that you have to take. And I don't remember exactly what she said when she described this, but my takeaway from it is that we're too busy humans doing and not humans being, and having those moments to be able to take that back and just be, to exist in this moment, in this journey, in this experience, whatever it might be. So being able to kind of capture that and give that gift is going to be pretty amazing. Barcelona, have you been there before? Is this going to be your first time?
First time, so super excited, really looking forward to it. Definitely a big difference from the rainy, cold Irish weather in November. So really looking forward to some sun, not gonna
Absolutely, absolutely, yeah. And oh, I have not been either. and just looking through and trying to get the ideas of things to do during off time. It just looks so amazing, so beautiful. I'm excited for the journey as well. Let's talk about your shows. Everything, just for anybody that knows, once these get up and get going, you'll want to go to barcelonafringefestival.com. That is going to be where you can see Zac's shows and any of the other shows. You can kind of sort them by venue. You can sort them by type of performance. You can do a little search thing in there when that's live. So where will you be performing? Because I know that a lot of us have multiple venues and are bouncing all over the place.
Yeah, so Saturday, 1st of November, I'm at Teatro Metamorphosis. That is at 12:30 p.m. And Sunday, 2nd of November, I'm at the Comedy Clubhouse in the upstairs at 5 p.m. is where you'll find
Beautiful.
me.
And it's my understanding, again, I haven't been there yet, but it's my understanding that within the confines of where these fringe venues are, that most of them are going to be walkable from one to the other and bouncing around. And it just, I don't know, it's going to be an exciting time. My social media feeds and TikTok and things like that are just filled with all of these. I'm just getting flooded with tons of different things to do in Barcelona, and you need to eat here, and this is where the locals eat, and all this other fun stuff. Are you finding yourself kind of getting that itch and getting fed all of this wonderful stuff as well?
Oh, 100%. And actually, I was in Spain recently in Madrid in July with Campus Magico, which, by the way, if any magicians out there, any performers looking to learn more about magic, big shout out to those guys. Definitely check them out. But it's crazy, right? You spend like a week up in the mountains and, you learn about magic and all this stuff with these master Spanish magicians. But it was super cool, because it's all local Spanish food, like local Spanish music, local people and stuff. And I got to explore Madrid as well. So definitely, I'm looking forward to what Barcelona can offer. As you said, I'm checking out all these things. I'm asking the guys, going, "Hey, do you know anyone in Barcelona who can, show me around?" Or like, "Do you have any good recommendations?" So, man, since I left Spain, I'm itching to get back. Really itching.
Wonderful. Awesome. Any last thoughts before we let you go, let everybody else go, and start counting the days until we end up in Barcelona?
Oh man, so many thoughts, but I guess we'll keep it short. I guess thanks very much for having me. I really appreciate it. Definitely check out my show, as I said, Saturday, 1st November and Sunday, 2nd of November. You'll find the details on Barcelona Fringe Festival, and check out Judge. He's awesome.
Yep, barcelonafringefestival.com. You'll see all of the shows as they are finalizing everything, I think today or tomorrow. Also, if you want to see other interviews, we got another one that around this time, I think about 30 minutes earlier tomorrow, we have another interview. And as things get going, there are going to be more and more of these popping up. So you will see these on my social media feed, or if you go to carnivalofdreams.com, not only are you going to find information about my shows, but a lineup of not only all of the upcoming interviews, but also you will find a link to the interviews into perpetuity. So come out to the Fringe, come out and see Zac's show, be amazed. Take that moment, take that time to go back to being and not just doing, because at the end of that, you're going to feel really, really great about it. And I have a feeling it's going to just set you forward to a much more positive outlook moving forward, because magic is magical. What more can I say than that? So
100%.
awesome. Wonderful. Thank you for being the first one of these interviews. I'm looking forward to doing many, many more of these. And in less than 2 months, we'll see so many faces out there in Barcelona. So goodbye, adios, be well. We'll see you soon.